When you're publicly admitting your party doesn't care enough about Black America, then it's time for a new black friend. Enter Dr. Ben Carson, who's been embraced recently because he's smart and helpful in assuaging their guilt. Just as I doubt the GOP would entertain a white non-politician with unserious ideas, but Carson's enjoying the GOP's version of affirmative action, where black faces that can spit conservative game get raced to the front of the line, because then people get to put a bumper sticker on their cars saying, "How can I be racist? I would have voted for Carson."
That is the most disgusting kind of racism that exists out there. Dr. Carol Swain, Vanderbilt Law School Professor, is with us. And Doctor, welcome. Great to see you again. When you hear reactions like that to Dr. Ben Carson on the left, and especially in this case from a black man on the left, what's your reaction?
It saddens me that our country is such that within the black community that there's no understanding of diversity of viewpoints. There's no respect of anyone that doesn't follow the party line. And that's sad because it limits everyone. It means that black progress is almost impossible because the way it's been packaged by black elites, it has to come from the Democratic Party, and anyone that is conservative or aligns themselves with the Republican Party, they are demonized.
Well, when does this end? I mean, you could take this back, probably even before, but you could take this certainly back, of course, to Clarence Thomas. And to this day, Clarence Thomas is an enemy to the blacks. He's a sellout. He hates his own people. And Michael Steele, and right on down and up and down and sideways across the line. You, of course, I'm sure, have been called names, and others have been called names. And it's, like I said, some of the worst racism that's out there. But when does the black community stand up and say to the elites, enough? Look at what the liberal black policies have gotten us. Look where we are. Let's hear from some people who are black conservatives.
Well, first of all, I believe that the black liberals that we see on the news, that they're not representing the black community, that in the black community you will find respect for Ben Carson and respect for Clarence Thomas. And I've always been well received in the black community among people that are not politicians, that don't have agendas, or not in academia. So I would dismiss the voices of the pundits as well as the voices of people that are coming from academia and the Democratic Party, because they have an agenda, and that agenda is to keep blacks blind, poor, and voting for that party.
But how does someone like Ben Carson, or how do the Republicans, for that matter, overcome the influence of the media and the so-called black leaders? Even though I agree with you, they don't represent blacks, yet blacks will vote overwhelmingly for Democrats, or especially a black Democrat.
Well, first of all, Republicans should not give up on the black vote, and I've attended some campaign what do you call those things, conferences, where
Right.
they tell politicians how to run for office. And I've heard Republican consultants say, don't waste your time in the black community, pretty much go hunting where the ducks are. And I think as long as that is the attitude of some of the consultants, the Republican Party will not make the kinds of inroads that it could in the black community. I believe that blacks are just like any other group, that if you show up and you're genuine and you don't wait until election year to show up, then you stand a chance. And it's been shown in Ohio and other states that Republicans can attract, white Republicans, black votes. And in the case of black Republicans that run and have difficulty getting support from black voters, I think a lot of times it's because they're so underfunded.
Yeah, no, that certainly is a problem as well. So going forward, what's your assessment of Ben Carson's chances? Just on their own. Forget the black liberal reaction to him, but just as a candidate up against the other candidates so far.
I think he has strong qualities, and I see him more as a vice presidential choice than as someone that would head the ticket. And a lot of that has to do with his lack of experience in foreign policy and some of those other areas. We've suffered through Barack Obama. We know what inexperience can bring. I do believe, you know, with his intellect and with his common sense, that if he were elected, he would appoint the right advisors, and so he would be able to overcome that. But in the minds of the voters, I think that, you know, people like him, they respect him, they would vote for him, but his best shot, I believe, is number 2 on the ticket.
Yeah, you know, Doctor, I mean, if he were a Democrat and a liberal, my God, what a story he has. Just like, to an extent, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and others, Carly Fiorina. I mean, go ahead. I mean, he was the first to separate conjoined twins at the head, for crying out loud.
Well, in the black community, people should be very proud of the fact that he's a member, and as far as our young people, certainly they should be treating him with respect. And so when I hear people make the kinds of comments that you get from people like Cynthia Tucker, you know, that went on her own tirade against Dr. Carson, I just think that it's a disgrace, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, Doctor, it's always good to talk to you. Thank you for being out there, and your voice is very important. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Carol Swain, ladies and gentlemen. It is really a shame, but I do believe the black community, as Dr. Swain said, is not represented by the Torres and the Al Sharptons, and I know that for a fact. All right, Jonathan Tobin of Commentary Magazine will be next. Don't miss it.